Hi guys, Reset Home HQ Stapleford. We're going to be doing a video on a bit of a classy one. Vinci, the original Vinci's. Obviously I know the Vinci X2s are out now, but it's always good to go back to something old school which is still good. Do you know what I mean? Vinci X2, it goes up to 55 watts. It's a single 18650 battery mod. It still uses the PMP coils. Obviously it's got its own version of a coil as well. They're very simple, very self-explanatory as well. They are similar to the Vinci X2s. Obviously the Vinci X2 is just more of an improved version. Main difference pretty much is wattage wise, and there are a few different modes and bits and bobs like that. Obviously, as you can tell, like I said, 18650 battery mod. The one thing we've always had with these drags, the new drags and all that, most people complain that they're leaking. They're not actually leaking. It's because when you're vaping, you have to think your coil is directly at the bottom. It's also got a little tray, and your airflow's at the bottom. So every time you're vaping, water vapor is going to be coming out of the bottom and sitting inside there. It's going to build up over time, and then you're going to have water come out the sides. That is literally all it is. A lot of people do assume they're leaking, but majority of the time, the only time these will leak is if your coil is gone or if the coil has been put in wrong, if that makes sense. Or if the liquid's not right for the coil as well. There's plenty of variables to vaping that make it so the vape leaks. One of them, like I say, is that kind of situation where it's just airflow and stuff like that, because it's right at the bottom, you do get a little bit of drip back. Coil being gone, wattage being wrong, because if your wattage isn't to what the coil states, you're not going to be burning the coil at the right wattage, which then in turn will make it leak. You have to look at everything before you just jump to before people jump to assumptions that it's just leaking on its own, like there's a fault in the vape, if that makes sense. Because we do get it a lot, and majority of the time it's not down to that. It's just down to, like, I think we've had it before where someone came in, the vape was leaking from, like, it was just leaking all the time. They was using the wrong juicers in the wrong vape. So for instance, it would be like a mouth to lung vape using 50 or 70/30s, which is gonna leak. That's inevitable. That will always happen. All your coils will burn out. They're just too sweet for the coil, if that makes sense. Whereas if it was the other way around, you was using a big vape with mouth to lung juice, that wouldn't work either. So you kind of, luckily with the Voopoos, with all of them, they have a coil for every category. So you can get like a mouth to lung coil, sub-ohm, direct to lung, a simple sub-ohm coil where it's like 40 to 60, or you can get like 60 to 80. You can get so many different coils for them to make them suit you, if that makes sense. You can even use salts with them. I've done that and it was perfect. Obviously, tangent over, but carbon fibre, you can get rainbow. They are literally the exact same as a Vinci X2. Obviously, fire button, up, down on wattage, charging port. There's not much really I can say towards them. Obviously, manual charger wires inside there. They're about 40 quid. They're pretty much self-explanatory. Every Voopoo drag or drags or whatever, they're all the same price. They're all about 40 quid. You'll never be paying much more than 40 quid, if that makes sense. Even the newest one that came out, which is the Drag X Pro, which will be after this one, that's even 40 quid. Like, literally, majority of the time, they're all 40 quid. The only time you'll get more is if it's a... Ooh, where is it? There it is. The Drag 3, which is 50. But that's obviously dual battery, 177 watts. It's pretty much the kind of big boy mod, if that makes sense. It's a lot like the Legend 2s or the Crown 5s. They're all the same. But yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, obviously leave a like. If you didn't, dislike. Yeah, make sure to smash that subscribe button. See you in a bit. Peace.